Hello, listeners. So today we are back again listening to our favorite artist from Bangladesh, without any exaggeration, Arnob. And this track was recommended by, I just want to give a shout out to Abhijit Saurav, who reached out to us. And he shared a lot of details around this particular track, the backstory, not the backstory, but how things proceeded afterwards once the song was released. And we thank you so much, Abhijit. You have been an avid follower of this particular track, and we love your support simply. And yeah, the track is called Hok Kolorob, and I think it was initially released in 2006. It was part of Arnob's album. So let's listen to it and then we discuss about it.
All right. Three, two, one, play. হোক কলরব ফুলগুলো সব লাল না হয়ে নীলে হলো কেন অসম্ভবে কখন কবে মেঘের সাথে মিলে হলো কেন হোক কলরব ফুলগুলো সব লাল না হয়ে নীলে হলো কেন অসম্ভবে কখন কবে মেঘের সাথে মিল হলো কেন হোক অযথায় সব কথা তাল না হয়ে তিলে হলো কেন কুয়োর তলে ভীষণ জলে খাল না হয়ে ঝিলে হলো কেন হোক অযথায় সব কথা তাল না হয়ে তিলে হলো কেন কুয়োর তলে ভীষণ জলে খাল না হয়ে ঝিলে হলো কেন তুত্তুরি ছাই মাছগুলো তাই ফুল না হয়ে ঝিলে হলো কেন হোক কলরব ফুলগুলো সব লাল না হয়ে নীলে হলো কেন হলো কেন হোক কলরব ফুলগুলো সব লাল না হয়ে নীলে হলো কেন অসম্ভবে কখন কবে মেঘের সাথে মিলে হলো কেন ধুত্তুরি ছাই মাছগুলো তাই ফুল না হয়ে ছিলে হলো কেন হোক কলরব ফুলগুলো সব লাল না হয়ে নীলে হলো কেন লাল না হয়ে নীল কাল না হয়ে ঝিল তাল না হয়ে তিল ফুল না
The
হয়ে
guitar
ঝিল
works are so
হলো
beautiful.
কেন লাল না হয়ে নীল কাল না হয়ে ঝিল তাল না হয়ে তিল ফুল না হয়ে ঝিল হলো কেন
There was a comment on one of the videos of this particular track because there are multiple videos uploaded on YouTube channel, and there was one comment that Arnab is not a musician, he's a magician. And I completely have the same sentiment, especially when I listen to this particular track. We already have seen his work in Coke Studio and his other tracks as well. But here, I'm just talking about musically first. It's a 3 minutes long song and a very simple song, very simply sung. But it's still, if you notice in the background how he's playing with the instrument with subtlety, the instruments are not overshadowing his voice, but there are many instruments being played in the background if you just focus on it. And they are so beautifully orchestrated by him that I simply just cannot appreciate enough his genius. And I completely agree with the comment. Whoever did was 100% correct.
I think it's a very common sentiment,
Yeah, it's a very
especially
common sentiment.
in the whole Bengal region.
Hmm.
It's a very common sentiment, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, yeah, but honestly, this track was an enigma for
Hmm.
me.
Hmm.
So when we started this whole journey, when we found out about different artists from Bangladesh, especially, we
Hmm.
came across Arnob, um, and of course, at least I went through the album
Hmm.
and started digging into what's being said, what are the lyrics, what could be the narrative, and
Hmm.
this particular track was an enigma. Why? I hadn't had any idea about the Hok Kolorob movement.
Hmm.
I didn't. The the lyrics, when translated, just didn't make sense. I mean, they were
Yes.
philosophical, but it was very hard to understand, very hard to make what's being said, and what's the narrative, what's the context,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Even now, even now in the when you told me about the movement recently,
Hmm.
I still thought that the initial thoughts for me about this track was this was about hope and good
Yes.
times ahead.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
especially how the sound was arranged, the instruments were arranged.
Yes.
The I mean the emotion behind that, how I perceived it was the good days will come, good days are ahead. You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
there will be light.
Yep.
If, it doesn't mean that it's completely dark right now,
Hmm.
but it was like, whatever being done. I mean, now in the context of the movement, it makes a lot more sense.
Hmm.
But previously, it was just like, through struggles, through whatever being done, through hard work, we would
Hmm.
achieve good days.
Yeah.
And this is what I understood. There are enigmas still, you know, uh, around. Let me just get it. Lal na hue nil,
Nil. Lal na howe nil.
right? Which roughly translates to the blue instead of red, or blue couldn't become red.
Hmm.
Uh, then Kal na hue jhel, uh,
Hmm.
meaning that the flowing river or canals couldn't
Hmm.
become a lake.
Hmm.
Tal na hue tel, I couldn't understand what does
Hmm.
that mean.
Hmm.
Tal means rhythm,
Hmm. Hmm.
sur and tal.
Hmm.
But again, it was very hard to understand what's being said.
Hmm. I completely share the same sentiment. Um, it is a puzzle for me if I actually look at from the context of Hok Kolorob movement, because when I look at the lyrics, it seems like a very simple, innocuous, and benign song, which I still want to understand how it became part of that movement. Why I think so? Because we know, looking at the lyrics, the simple translation, it feels like you are asking simple questions, right? Simple questions. Why it cannot be this or that, right? He's continuously asking questions throughout this particular track in a simplistic manner, just with a hope, or at least trying to communicate that we should be appreciative towards difference of opinion, difference of race,
Exactly.
difference of color, and all those things. So
Tolerance.
absolutely, and that's what his music stands for. If you have heard. Arnob's work a lot more than me. And that's what his music stands for. His music is all about tolerance. Even we saw that in Coke Studio as well. And Hok Kolorob, it's basically, if roughly translates Kolorob, I think it's roughly translates to outcry, as I think Abhijit shared with us, or polyphony or cacophony, whatever you call it. But yeah,
Let so
let there be,
let there be noise,
let there be
uh,
noise.
but there was I don't know how I came across it, but it felt like let there be chirping,
Hmm, hmm,
let there be chirping,
hmm, hmm, hmm.
which means that let the birds sing, or let the, you
Yes.
know, let
Yep.
the birds
Hmm,
speak or sing.
hmm,
And then it overlapped the whole movement so well,
hmm.
where the birds were the students,
Yes, the 4 months long
right? You can translate it as
protest. Yeah.
outcry,
Hmm.
let there be noise,
Let there be
but
noise.
that then let there be outcry noise seems repressive,
Hmm, hmm.
but let there be chirping encompasses the whole movement so well, because
Yes.
they were
Okay.
fighting
Hmm,
for something very progressive, something towards tolerant,
hmm,
towards for their rights, right?
hmm.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about that movement is that it took place in India, in Kolkata, right? So I was reading, as I shared it with you as well, thanks to Abhijit again, that this song was brought to prominence after that movement more. And even Arnob, I think he mentioned in one of the concerts that that movement has made this song completely transform into something else. So it's really interesting how music can affect you, right? How it can become part of something bigger than you would have imagined, and something so simple, so beautiful. I still feel, even if I don't listen or understand the movement, I don't know about the movement at all, I still would love this particular song as a simple, beautiful song which I can tune into. But this has become something bigger than that, which is so phenomenal, so phenomenal. As an artist, I think it means the world to you.
Yeah, I mean, I would be very interested and curious to know the initial narrative
Hmm.
of this song, of the lyrics. I think it wasn't written by Arnav. It was written by someone else.
Someone else, yeah.
I'm forgetting the name, but yeah, what was the initial narrative of the song? It, because again, it does seems like, as you were saying, that why it couldn't be this rather than that.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
it's about curiosity. It's about questioning authority. It's about questioning customs. It's about questioning your traditions.
Hmm. Yep.
You know,
Absolutely.
for progress, for transcending customs, for acceptance.
Hmm.
So was it this, or what was it?
Hmm. One thing that I also want to mention, that somewhere it was mentioned that the thought was taken from a short story by Rabindranath Tagore, and the short story was called Kabuliwala. So I think we should read that story as well. It's a short story, or at least a summary, so we would understand better how this song came into being. Because I think that story also depicts similar sort of questions that was raised between, or exchanged between, the protagonists of that story. So we should read it.
Yeah. By the way, this is happening more and more, and I am apologizing to everyone. This lyrics and how Arnab has sung it,
Hmm.
especially, reminds me of a book.
Okay, I read nonfiction, so you won't listen that from me, but from him, yes, you can
No,
expect.
so I mean it just fits. So I recently mentioned that I has have just finished a series called Red Rising,
Hmm.
but I'll come to the context. What I want to mention first is how Arnab has sung it,
Hmm.
and when I initially mentioned that the the way I perceived it was that there will be hope. There is hope. There,
Hmm.
through our struggles, through our hard work, through sacrifices, uh, there will be good days. You know,
Hmm.
we will achieve what we are out to achieve.
Yep.
And he sang it in such a light,
Light manner.
hopeful
Yep.
way. You
Hmm.
know, it's especially around the chorus. There was
Hmm.
this double vocals. I think it was Arnob
Yes.
just layering
Yeah.
his own
Yep.
vocals on top, the whole music and all. And then the lyrics, you know, especially Lal Na Hue Nil,
Hmm.
right? So Red Rising was especially about a society that is divided in colors,
Hmm.
and the gold are the rulers, and the
Hmm.
red are the slaves, or
Hmm.
the working class, labor class
Labor class.
citizen.
Hmm.
And they were oppressed and all, and then they fight against the society, the hierarchy of society. So
Hmm.
the whole society was divided into colors. Gold is rulers, then you have grays who are policing, yellows who are doctors or medical people, greens
Hmm.
are engineering and all. Yeah, it's fiction, of course, right?
Yeah.
Science fiction, but it reminded me of that, that
Absolutely.
the
I think it
red,
makes sense now.
the red rose against
Hmm.
this structure, the struggle, the sacrificed,
Hmm.
to destroy that hierarchy, and to prove that all humans are equal and
Hmm.
cannot be born into colors or into predefined hierarchies or slavery or what or some such,
Hmm.
right? So again, I perceive things from my own experiences, and this whole experience and the whole series, you then create a picture
Yeah.
out of those literatures and all. But yeah, I mean, again, I'm
That's
sorry about the tangents.
no, it's pretty interesting. I think at least I would be interested in reading that book. Now, understanding the central idea of that book from you, I
You
think
wouldn't be able to put it down. So be careful.
that's okay. I will give it a try, even if I don't finish it in a week, but I'll still do it one page at a time, but it's still. All right. Then thank you so much, guys, for listening this song with us. And yeah, share your thoughts around this particular track as well. As Harris mentioned, just if you can, let us know how this track came into being, even before the actual Jadavpur University movement. What was the thought and how it actually came into being? So it would be something interesting for us as well. Thank you so much for experiencing, and we will see you on the next one. Until then, take care of yourself. Bye bye.